Welcome back to the deep dive. Okay, today we're digging into something pretty different, an unconventional blueprint for, well, career and financial success. We're looking at this really innovative professional type. Think of this as your shortcut to understanding the ultimate disruptor's mind.
Exactly. This whole deep dive is really about mapping out the professional profile of someone who's um, fundamentally driven by ideas, by collective impact. They're challenging those traditional motivations,
Mhm.
like status or climbing the ladder.
Yeah.
And the core idea, pulled straight from our source material, is that this person, well, they don't just think outside the box. It's like they don't even see the box to begin with.
Okay, I like that. Let's unpack their professional strengths then. The data we've got clearly shows a mind that's kind of wired for the future. You see innovation, social reform ideas, these really deep humanitarian ideals driving them. Their whole professional identity is about shaking things up. That's their value.
And what's fascinating is seeing how that plays out in career choices. We saw definite patterns, deep tech, decentralized systems, renewable energy R&D, also any kind of entrepreneurial venture that has a world-changing mission baked in.
Right.
But the key thing, the absolute non-negotiable, intellectual freedom, they're motivated by the idea, the scale of it, not the size of their office.
Okay, but here's where it gets really interesting based on our sources. There's this core dilemma, right? They're described as the brilliant architect, but, well, they're not always interested in laying the bricks. Those mundane day-to-day tasks, they drain them
Yeah, that's
fast.
the crucial point, execution. The data really suggests they need to partner up. Find someone who's, let's call it a high SOP counterweight, someone really good at operational finance or detailed project management.
Okay.
That kind of strategic delegation, it seems to be the only reliable path to actually making their genius ideas happen sustainably.
But wait, if the sources keep highlighting this radical independence as their core need, how does that square with needing a dependable partner? I mean, doesn't relying on someone else kind of undermine that autonomy they crave?
That's a great question. The sources frame it more as a calculated trade-off. It's not really reliance in the dependent sense. It's strategic delegation specifically to preserve their core intellectual autonomy. Let someone else handle the bricks so they can keep designing.
Oh, okay.
The real risk, actually beyond just failing to execute, is something else the data mentions. Their ideas are often just so far ahead of their time.
Mm.
They can end up spending as much energy just educating the market, explaining the vision, as they do actually building the thing. That can lead to real professional loneliness, maybe even burnout.
That makes sense. That independence is obviously key to their work, but let's switch gears slightly to how they actually sustain it. Let's talk finances. Their approach here is predictably unconventional too. They seem to use money mostly as a tool, like create freedom or to fund a cause. It's not about piling up wealth for status symbols.
Exactly. And that creates a very particular financial picture
Hmm.
because they often lean towards project-based income, maybe consulting, or these early-stage, really innovative investments. Think highly speculative tech startups or maybe new cryptocurrency protocols. Their income flow is inherently erratic. You see these spikes.
Right.
The data showed trends like massive wins in one quarter, followed by these really long lulls where they're just deep in R&D or development, not earning much.
So, okay, managing that kind of financial chaos, what's the practical advice? You obviously can't budget month to month if your income hits maybe once or twice a year in big chunks.
Precisely. That's a key takeaway from this deep dive. They need to shift their whole mindset, think annual average budgeting,
Mhm.
and maybe even more importantly, they need a really robust emergency fund. Not just the standard 6 months of living expenses,
More like,
more like a financial runway that's long enough to actually sustain them through a full R&D or development cycle. Could be a year, maybe more. Basically, you have to build serious financial stability to afford the creative instability that comes with true innovation.
okay, connecting this all back to the bigger picture then.
Yeah.
The main requirement for this type of professional seems crystal clear from the sources. They absolutely need a mission, not just, a job. Their work has to feel like it's contributing to something bigger, and it demands total autonomy. The sources couldn't be clearer. A rigid corporate culture, it'll just stifle your genius, period.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think the universal lesson here, maybe for everyone listening, isn't about finding some perfect work-life balance. That's not quite it. It's more about creating an entire ecosystem where your financial strategy is actively, deliberately serving your revolutionary goal. It's
Yeah.
mission synchronization.
Mission synchronization. I like that. So, as you're thinking this over, maybe ask yourself this. How can you structure your life to achieve that ultimate goal we found in these sources, Creating a life where your financial reality and your authentic self-expression aren't fighting each other, but are actually one and the same. That's definitely something to mull over.